In this video, we're going to look at how to participate in a team, including posting messages, replying to things that other people post, reacting to those messages, uploading files to your team, as well as how to do a chat outside of a team. A really neat feature of MS Teams is that you don't have to actually be on any teams in order to collaborate with people. Alright, let's start off by going over how to make a post. So here I am in my sample ProDev team, and I can see that there is a conversation going on regarding the Gilligan's Island theme song. There are two ways that I can participate in this thread. I can either continue the conversation by making a new post, or I can reply directly to a post that someone else has already made, or even one that I made. Let's say that I wanted to continue on with the topic, which would be the next line of the theme song. I would come down to the bottom of this screen, put my cursor into this field here, and then type the next line of the song. When I'm done, I click this tiny symbol of a paper airplane to send it. My message now appears as the next one in line in the thread. But what if I had wanted to reply to something that someone had said earlier in the conversation? I would go to the message that I wanted to reply to, click the reply link that's directly beneath it, and a field will appear where I can type my reply. In this case, I'm going to ask Alma which tropic port she's referring to. And then I'm going to click the send icon. We now see that my reply has been added directly beneath the post that I was referring to, and it's kind of indented a bit. So again, if you want to reply specifically to something that somebody said earlier, your best bet is to click that reply link directly beneath that message, so that your reply shows up right beneath it. Otherwise, if you reply as a regular new post, then it'll appear down in the thread, and if there have been a bunch of messages in between, people would have to scroll up to figure out which one it was you were referring to, and that can get a little confusing. MS Teams gives you a way to react to posts kind of like on Facebook. If I wanted to react to Alma's post, I would hover my mouse over it, and that brings up a bunch of reactions that I can select from. I'm going to give her post a thumbs up. Now let's talk about if you really want to get somebody's attention when you're posting or replying. One way to do that is through something called an @mention, kind of like on Twitter or Facebook. So let's say that I wanted Tuan's input into this tropic port situation, and I wanted to make it extremely likely that he would see this part of the conversation. So I'm going to start a new reply, and instead of typing just maybe Tuan knows, I'm going to @mention Tuan in the reply. Here's how I'll do it. I do it by typing the @ symbol, and then it's going to give me a list of people in my team that I can @mention. I'm going to click on Tuan's name, and then I'm going to say knows, so maybe Tuan knows. And since I don't want it to show up as maybe Hua, Tuan knows, I am going to just erase his last name there. So now it says maybe Tuan knows. But as you can see, his name is in this kind of bluish purple font, so that means that I'm @mentioning him in this reply. Once I click the send icon, Tuan should get an alert that he's being mentioned in this convo. @mentions can increase the likelihood that somebody will see your message faster. If you're going to be sending a message that has a lot of text in it, formatting the message can make it easier to read. And it also makes it look a bit snazzier. So let's say that I want to ask my teammates who their favorite cast member was on this TV show. I'm going to click the capital A in the lower left-hand corner here. And this is going to bring up the formatting editor, where I can format my message. If my message is really important, I can change it to the announcement style of message, which will give it a fancy-looking heading. I just click on this chevron next to where it says New Conversation, and I'm going to select announcement. Now I can type a headline. So I'm going to give my post the title of Important Island Question. If I'd like to, I can click this button here, the kind of gray square, and then select a color theme for my message. I'll choose this kind of purple one. I can also click this little image icon here to select a background. I can click Choose an Illustration, and then it'll give me a bunch of different pictures I can choose from. This one looks pretty tropical, so I'm picking the one with this gecko here. Done. And now it did change the color of it, but now it's a much prettier background. Next, I'm going to type out the body of my message. I can use the formatting option to do some bolding and create a bulleted list, just like I could in Outlook or Microsoft Word. Now let's say I'd like my message to look a little more fun. This is where the emojis, GIFs, and stickers can come in handy. I'm going to put my cursor where I'd like the emoji to go, and then I'm going to click on this little happy face icon here to bring up the choices of emojis. I'm going to pick the one wearing sunglasses because that seems appropriate for an island theme. Just as a heads up, they'll come out in a certain size when you use them in a message that has text in it, but if you were to send one of these emojis or GIFs or stickers in a message by itself, it can come out quite a bit bigger. FYI, you don't have to be here in the formatting editor in order to use the emojis, GIFs, or stickers. Those are available whenever you post a reply. But something that you do have to be in the formatting editor for is making a hyperlink. Here's how I would do so. Let's say I want to link to the Wikipedia article for Gilligan's Island. First, I would type out the phrase that I want to be in the hyperlink. In this case, it's "Here's the Wikipedia article for Gilligan's Island." Notice that I'm going to be hyperlinking the entire descriptive phrase and not just the word here. Here's how I'm going to do it. First, I'm going to go to the web page that I want to link to. To save time, I had it already open in a different tab. I'm going to click in the address bar so that the URL turns blue. Then right-click my mouse and select Copy so that it goes onto my clipboard. I will then go back into Teams, and then here in the editor, I'm going to make sure that I have selected the entire phrase that I want to hyperlink. Then I'm going to click on this little symbol here that looks like a chain link. This is going to bring up a pop-up where it's going to tell me text to display, and then it has the text that I selected with my mouse earlier. And then it's going to ask me for the address. So I'm going to right-click and select Paste to paste in the URL of that web page. And then I'll click the Insert button. Now I can see that this has been made into a hyperlink, and it even gives me a little preview of that web page. Now let's say I have a file that I want to share with everybody on the team. I can attach my file to this specific message, or I can upload it directly into the file area. Either way works fine. No matter which way I pick, the file is going to end up inside the file area anyway, which will make it easier to find later on. If I click this paperclip icon down here to attach my file to this specific message, usually the first files that it's going to suggest are ones that I'm currently working on in Office 365. If I don't want to use one of those documents that I have in 365, and I want to upload one that I have on my hard drive, I find that it's easier to just upload it straight into the Files area. So I'm going to click Cancel, and then I'm going to go ahead and send this message. And I'm going to come up here to the top of the screen and click on Files. This takes me to the File Overview screen, where I could see any files that my teammates and I had uploaded to this team. Nobody has uploaded anything yet, so that's why it's empty. To upload a new file, I would click the Upload button, and it's going to bring up the Explorer window on my PC so that I can search through my computer and choose the file that I want to upload. I'm going to click on my Documents folder, and then I'll select this one called Info Email Addresses and click Open. I can now see that this file has been uploaded to the team, and now my teammates can easily access it. Let's talk about some caveats when it comes to uploading files to teams. Just a word of caution insofar as uploading ones that you have in Office 365. Let's say that you uploaded a file into 365 and you only shared it with certain people. Well, once you upload that file to a team, those sharing settings that you put on it originally don't seem to matter, and now everybody on your team can see it. So just a heads up on that. Also, when you upload just a regular document from your computer, if somebody on your team goes to look at it, apparently the default is to have that document viewed in editing mode, where it's not obvious if somebody makes changes, rather than review mode, where their changes would have been spotlighted. Alright, now let's say that you want to talk to somebody who's not a member of your team. Do you need to create a whole new team and make them a member of that team just to write back and forth with them? Not at all. You would just start a new chat. A chat is a little different than the back and forth messaging that you do here inside of a team. Let me show you. I'm going to come to the left-hand side of the screen and click on the chat icon. This brings me into the chat area where it brings up the latest chat that I was participating in. But let's say that I want to start a new chat. I just come to the very top of the screen and click this icon where it looks like a pencil writing on a piece of paper. This gives me a to field where I'm going to enter the name of the person that I want to write back and forth with. I'm going to type in Stacy Allen. So when her name pops up, I'm going to click on her from the list of people. And then I can see that it has opened up a new chat with me and Stacy. Now, before you start writing a whole bunch of messages, you'll probably want to give this person a heads up that you're going to be communicating with them via MS Teams so that they can first learn how to get to Office 365 and/or download the desktop version of Teams. I'm going to say hello and then type out a happy face emoticon. Notice that as soon as I hit the spacebar, it turned into an emoji. Then I'm going to click Send. And now I've sent Stacy a message. One of the big differences between talking with someone in this chat versus talking with them inside of a team is that you can't do the direct replying here in the chat area like you could inside of a team. Let me demonstrate that. So on the left-hand side of the screen, I can see a list of chats that I'm currently a part of. I'm going to click on the chat that I'm having with Tuan and Alma. This chat doesn't have any of those reply links that we had inside of a team, so I can't reply directly to one of Tuan or Alma's posts. But I still have those same formatting options like I had inside of a team, and you can upload a document to a chat as well.